The best sales professionals in the world are the ones that ask the best questions and just sit there and let the customer tell you what problems they have and what they would want fixed or what they would want their plan to look like. So then you can take your sales pants off, put your conversation pants on, and just solve problems all day long and get paid for it. Hey, welcome to the Insurance Buzz. I am your host, Michael Weaver. I'm flying solo today, and we're going to be talking about, or I'm going to be sharing, the 3 questions you can implement in your conversation today to turn every single conversation with any customer you're talking to into a life insurance conversation that, number 1, is going to qualify that conversation, and number 2, actually get them interested and engaged in having a life insurance conversation with you. So I'm super excited because the one thing that I constantly and consistently get asked is, Michael, I just don't know where to go in a conversation. I don't know what questions to ask. I don't know how to navigate a conversation. Even after I pivot into the life insurance conversation, I just really don't understand or know how to get a customer actually interested in wanting to have a conversation with me, which is why I wanted to talk about it today on The Buzz. So, look, and while I'm going to niche these questions down to specifically the life insurance conversation, these questions can be asked in any sales conversation that you're having with any customer, P&C, health, life, investments. It just doesn't matter. So let's go ahead and dig right in or jump right into this conversation. I want to share these with you. This is going to be short, sweet, to the point. And if you go out and you implement these into your conversations today, you will see a positive results. You will have a positive experience. And the whole thing with these questions is to ask the questions to get the customer actually engaged in wanting to talk to you about life insurance, to where you don't have to sell them on anything. You don't have to convince them that they should love their family. You don't have to convince them that the work policy is shit. You don't have to convince them that they need life insurance. No, the best sales professionals in the world are the ones that ask the best questions and just sit there and let the customer tell you what problems they have and what they would want fixed or what they would want their plan to look like. So then you can take your sales pants off, put your conversation pants on, and just solve problems all day long and get paid for it. That's the best thing about sales. That's the best thing about what you do as an insurance professional. And without a doubt, you have a moral obligation to bring this up and have these types of conversations with every customer every time, because no one else is asking them about their life insurance plan. You are the only person throughout the day that's ever going to care enough about your customer to ask them about what the plan is for the worst day in their life. Making sure that they have a plan so that their family doesn't have to suffer financially. Sure, they're going to be devastated emotionally. Losing a loved one sucks, but they do not have to struggle financially. They do not have to face devastation financially. They can have a plan for that. But the only way they're going to have a plan is if you, the insurance professional, bring it up in a way that is professional, that's not going to run them off, that's not going to scare them off, that's not going to try to tell them why they need a life insurance plan. No, the only way you're going to convince them is if they convince themselves, which means you as a sales professional have to ask the questions and get the customer talking. And not every customer is going to be an ideal customer. Not every customer is going to care about their family. Not every customer is going to want a life insurance plan, and that is okay. That is okay. You want to work with people that want to work with you. You want to work with people that love their families enough to get a plan in place. And how you do that is by asking the right questions that qualify the lead. So I'm going to walk you through a series of questions, 3 questions that if you go and incorporate today, you will see success with. So let's dive into this. Agency owners, imagine a world where you had a coach or trainer in your office that reported to you every single day, that your team had access to every single day. And the reason why most of you don't have that already is because they're extremely expensive. Usually most sales trainers and coaches are going to cost 6 figures a year. I'm so excited to announce the launch of our new business, Agency Coach AI. This is going to provide a AI coach and trainer at you and your team's fingertips 24/7. It's a coach that never takes the day off. It is a coach that reports directly to you. It is a coach that coaches your team the way that you want them to be coached. It practices and role plays with your team every single day, and then is going to coach them on what they did well, what they could have improved on, recommended trainings that they can watch. Then it's going to report to you or the sales manager in the office exactly what was done in that practice session, exactly what was said, and exactly what they coached the team member on. Then we're going to listen to every single live sales call. Think about this, a coach or trainer that sits with your team every single day, listening to every single live conversation, going in and or coming in and going out. No more wondering, hey, is my team actually having the conversations that they've been taught? Hey, is my team actually asking for the sell? Hey, is my team actually making pivots? Hey, is my team actually doing the things that they're supposed to do compliantly? No more guessing. It is all going to be documented and given to you word for word. And the best part about this is after the live calls, the coach coaches them on what they did well, what they could have improved on, and any recommended trainings that they would recommend them take and watch. No more wondering what's going on in your office, regardless if you're there or not. This is going to give you the most transparency and accountability that you've ever had before in your agency career. And the best part about it is, with your team having a coach and trainer that they can lean on 24/7, their confidence is going to grow and they're going to become the best sales professional that they can become because they have access to have coaching and training 24/7. If you are ready to take advantage of AI, if you're ready to have more time back in your business, if you are ready to quit having to choose between training your team and growing your business, go to agencycoachai.com and check out the demo or shoot me a text 816-727-7610 and I'll be in touch and we can get a call scheduled. Other than that, let's get back to the show. So let's dive into this right now. The very first question that I want you to ask is, what's the plan? Write this down right now. Question number one, what's the plan? What's the plan? So when I'm talking to a customer, it doesn't matter if it's on the new business P&C sales conversation, if I'm actively engaged in calling out to current customers to talk to them about their life insurance plan, or I'm a CSR answering the phone, taking care of customers, and on the backside, I'm going to pivot to a life insurance conversation. An easy question is, what's the plan? So, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, what's the plan in the event that if you don't go home to your family today, you pass away unexpectedly, that your family would receive a check large enough to be able to pay off the mortgage, to be able to pay off all the credit card debt, your student loans, your vehicle loans, so that they never had to worry about how they're going to make the next payment. They never had to worry about having to sell the house, potentially filing bankruptcy, getting evicted from the apartment, whoever you're speaking to, homeowner or renter. What does the plan look like that if you do not go home today to your family, you pass away unexpectedly, that your family would receive a check large enough to be able to pay off all the debt and continue to live life as they're living today and not struggle financially? What does that plan look like? That's question number one. What does the plan look like? What's the plan look like? I didn't even bring up life insurance. I just said, what's the plan look like if you pass away today unexpectedly, that your family receives a check large enough tomorrow or whenever? You don't have to say tomorrow. What does the plan look like that when you pass away unexpectedly, that your family will receive a check large enough to be able to pay off all the debt, all your payments, since your income's no longer coming into the household, that ensures they're not going to struggle financially? What's that plan look like? I just gave you multiple versions of question number one. So question number one, what's the plan? Usually you're going to get an answer like, I don't know. Didn't know there was anything out there like that. Never thought about that. Occasionally you'll get the, are you talking about life insurance? That's occasionally. That's like 10% of answers. Question number one, what's the plan? Question number two. Question number two. This is where you qualify the customer. So number one, what's the plan look like? You're trying to disturb complacency a little bit. That's why I use words like bankruptcy. I use words like being forced to sell the house. I use words like facing eviction. You have to disrupt complacency. You have to make them feel something. Sales is emotional. You cannot talk to customers in a logical way. Very few people buy off of logic. They buy off of emotion. How are they feeling? The close is logical. Do not get me wrong. The close is logical. But everything leading up to the close is emotional or should be emotional. And that's why questions like this matter. This is how you navigate that conversation. I'm giving you a formula for success here. So question number one, what's the plan? Question number two. Would it be important to you? Write that down right now. Would it be important to you? So I just said, hey, what's the plan look like in the event that you pass away today unexpectedly, that your family would receive a check large enough to pay off all the debt so that they didn't have to worry about suffering financially. They didn't have to worry about how they're going to make those payments without your income. They don't have to worry about eviction. Not going to have to worry about potential foreclosure in the future. What's that plan look like? Question number two, would it be important to you that if you did pass away today unexpectedly and you did not go home to your family, that you had a plan in place that gave them guaranteed financial security, meaning they could continue to make debt payments. They can maybe pay the debt off if that's what you choose. That they didn't have to worry about filing bankruptcy or getting evicted. Would it be important to you that you had a plan in place so your family received a check large enough that offered them guaranteed financial security? Would it be important to you? That's question number two. Because what does this do? This qualifies the lead. If they say no here, that doesn't mean I'm not going to quit asking them questions. But it probably means they're not a qualified lead. They're probably not going to buy life insurance, and that's okay. We don't want to work with people that don't want it, that don't love their family, but you still got to ask the question. But a large majority of people are going to say, yes, of course. Of course I wouldn't want my family to struggle financially. Of course I wouldn't want my family to have to worry about eviction. Of course I wouldn't want my family to have to worry about foreclosure. Of course I wouldn't want my family to struggle and have to go around and beg neighbors and family members for money. Of course it would be important to me. In which then you ask number three. Question number three, write this down. Why would it be important to you? Why would it be important to you? Why would it be important to you that your family never struggled financially? Why would it be important to you that your family never had to worry about being evicted from the house or apartment? Why would it be important to you that your family never had to be forced to sell the childhood home? Why would it be important to you that your family never had to worry about bankruptcy or foreclosure? Why would it be important to you that your family never had to deal with loan sharks? Why would it be important to you that your family continued to be able to live the same financial life that they live right now with you, even though your paychecks are no longer in the picture? Why would it be important to you that your family had guaranteed financial security for as long as you wanted them to? Why would it be important to you? This allows them to now tell you what's important to them versus you telling them why it should be important. You see, this is the trick to sales and anything you're doing. If you try to convince someone why it's good for them, it's going to be a real struggle for you in sales. Whereas if you just ask, why would it be important to you that you had a plan in place that guaranteed your family would never have to file bankruptcy, would never have to worry about selling the childhood home, that guaranteed them financial security for as long as you wanted them to, that guaranteed that your paychecks didn't stop even though you passed away, and they can receive those paychecks for as long as they want? Why would that be important to you? You see how this changes the conversation? You see how getting the customer to tell you why it would be important to you now gets them engaged. It empowers them to where you don't have to sell them on anything. You're solving problems. Do you think when you're having conversations like this, you're going to get objections at the end of the conversations? It's like, I can't afford the $50 a month. Oh, no, this just isn't a good thing. Oh, no, I think I'm going to need to think about this. No. You're getting objections because you're not having the conversation up front that is engaging, that matters, that gets them to tell you their problem, their pain point, what they would want. And so just incorporate these 3 questions. If you start doing this on every conversation, you are going to be wildly successful at life insurance sales. I just had someone in Weaver Sales Academy, first week of agent enrolling. I went over this training like 3 weeks ago. She texts me 2 days later, Michael, I tried that disturbing complacency approach you told us with the 3 questions. She's like, I just turned a payment into 2 $500,000 mortgage payoff protection plans. Thank you. Do this today. Incorporate these 3 questions on the next conversation you have with any customer. It doesn't matter. Again, what's the plan look like? Would it be important to you that you have a plan? Why would it be important to you? And use some of those words that I'm sharing with you. Foreclosure, bankruptcy, loan sharks, eviction. This is what gets the customer emotionally engaged and actually thinking about a problem that they didn't know they had that now you can solve. This is going to drive bigger death benefit policies. It's going to drive bigger premium policies. Most importantly, you're going to be having conversations that you can be proud of, that feel good, and that actually convert to submitted apps without you having to argue or convince the customer into buying life insurance that doesn't stick for 3 or 6 months. They're getting life insurance because they want life insurance. They want a plan that guarantees financial security. Because you ask the right questions and you let them talk. And they convince themselves that they needed a solution because they worked through and talked through their problem because you asked the right questions that no one has ever asked them. When you ask these 3 questions today, I want you to shoot me a text, 816-727-7610. Let me know how it went for you. So other than that, I appreciate you. I appreciate your support as always. Time and attention are by far our most important assets. And I appreciate you spending time with me today on The Buzz. Now go out, implement these 3 questions, and change a customer's life. Appreciate you. Go out and make it great.